Uh, Shabbat Shalom again. It's basically ending. It's I'm in well, it doesn't matter where I am, but it's almost ending. But I'm still gonna do like another reading. I feel like I can do another reading, so I'm gonna try to go for it. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for joining me. Let's get right to it. We just read Isaiah chapter 19. I'm sorry, chapter 20 through 29. So we're beginning with chapter 30. Um, quick prayer. Father, just bless me, Father. Bless this reading, bless this channel. Give me the endurance, the strength, the stamina to continue to move forward with again what I feel like you place on my heart, Father. Please don't let my flesh deter me, because sometimes it does try to, with the fact that I feel tired and drained and all this stuff. Um, You, Father, and what I'm trying to do for you should be foremost and utmost in my life. And Father, just please help me keep that in the front of my mind, what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And you are first, and everything else comes after. Um, so just thank you, Father. Just thank you. Thank you for the continued desire in my heart to run after you, Father, to chase you, to open my Bible, to read it, to get to know you, to try to understand you. Um, and Father, please, again, just grace me with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Father, of who you are, of what you're calling me to be, of what's going on in the world, and just a knowing, just knowing you, Father, just knowing you, just a sense of knowing who you are, more than anything in the world, Father, just to know you. These and all things, Father, I ask in your name. So be it, and may it be so. All right. So Yeshayahu, or Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the stubborn children, declares Yah, to make counsel, but not from me, to devise plans, but not of my Ruah, in order to add sin to sin, who are walking to go down to Mitzrayim and have not asked my mouth, to be strengthened in the strength of Pharaoh, and to seek refuge in the shadow of Mitzrayim. And, and the strength of Pharaoh shall become your shame, and the refuge in the shadow of Mitzrayim your confusion. For his princes were at Soan, and his messengers came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people who do not profit them, not for help or profit, but a shame and also a reproach. The message concerning the beast of the Negeb, through a land of trouble and distress, from which came the lioness and the lion, the adder and fiery flying serpent. They conveyed their riches on the backs of young donkeys, and their treasures on the humps of camels, to an unprofitable people, even Mitzrayim, whose help is vain and empty. Therefore I have called her Rahab Hem Shebeth, and go write it before them on a tablet, and inscribe it on a scroll, that it is for a latter day a witness forever. Wait a minute, I have to go back. I'm sorry. I'm going back to verse 7. And even Mitzrayim, whose help is vain and empty, therefore I have called her Rahab Hem Shebeth, and go write it before them on a tablet, and inscribe it on a scroll, that it is for a latter day, a witness forever. That is that this is a rebellious people, lying children who refuse to hear the Torah of Yah, who say to the seers, do not see, and to the Nabim, do not nabi to us what is right. Speak to us what is smooth. Nabah deceits. Turn aside from the way, swerve from the path. cause the Kadesh one of Yasharel to cease from before us. Therefore, thus says the Kadesh one of Yasharel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and rely on them, therefore this wickedness is to you like a breach ready to fall, a bulge in the high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly, swiftly, and he shall break it like the breaking of a potter's vessel, which is broken in pieces without sparing, so that there is not found among its fragments a sherd or a sherd to take fire from the hearth, or to take water from the cistern. And for thus says the Adon Yah of the Kadesh one of Yasharel, in returning and rest you are saved. In returning and rest you are saved. In stillness and trust is your strength. But you would not. And you said, no, for we flee upon horses. Therefore you flee, and we ride on swift horses. Therefore those who pursue you are swift. 1,000 at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of five you flee until you are left as a pole on top of a mountain and as a sign on a hill. And therefore Yah shall wait and show you favor. And therefore he shall be exalted to have compassion on you. For Yah is the Elohim of right ruling. Barak are all those who wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Sion at Jerusalem. You shall weep no more. He shall show much favor to you at the sound of your cry. When he hears, he shall answer you. Though Yah gave you bread of adversity and water of affliction, your teacher shall no longer be hidden, but your eyes shall see your teacher, and your ears hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Whenever you turn to the right, or whenever you turn to the left, and you shall defile the covering of your graven images of silver and the plaiting of your molded images of gold. You shall throw them away as a minstrel cloth, and say to them, begone. And he shall give the rain for your seed, with which you sow the ground, and bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and rich, your cattle grazing in the enlarged pasture in that day, and the oxen and the young donkeys that work the ground eat seasoned fodder, winnowed with shovel and fan. And on every high mountain and on every high hill there shall be rivers and streams of waters in the day of great killing, when the towers fall. And the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun seven and the light of the sun be sevenfold as the light of 7 days. And the day that Yah binds up the breach of his people and heals the wound of his blows. Wow. Okay, hold on. And the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold as the light of 7 days, in the day that Yah binds up the breach of his people and heals the wound of his blows. See, the name of Yah is coming from afar, burning with his wrath and heavy smoke. His lips shall be filled with rage, and his tongue be as a devouring fire, and his breath shall be as an overflowing stream, which reaches up to the net to sift the nations with a sieve of falsehood and a misleading bridle on the jaws of the people. Let the song be to you as in the night Kadash for a festival, and gladness of heart as he who is going with a flute to come into the mountain of Yah, to the rock of Yasharel. And Yah shall cause his excellent voice to be heard, and show the coming down of his arm with raging wrath and the flame of a consuming fire and scattering, downpour and hailstones. For through the voice of Yah, Ashur is broken down with a rod he smites. And every passage of the ordained staff which Yah lays on him shall be with tambourines and lyres, when he shall fight with it, battling with the brandishing arm. For Topheth was ordained of old, even for the sovereign it has been prepared. He has made it deep and large, its fire pit with much wood, the bread of Yah as a stream of burning sulfur. It is is burning in it. Chapter 31. Woe to those who go down to Mitzrayim for help and rely on horses, who trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but who do not look to the Kadesh one of Yasharel, nor seek Yah. And he also is wise and has brought evil and has turned aside his words. And he shall rise up against the house of evildoers and against the help of the workers of wickedness. And the Mizrites are men and not El, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. And when Yah stretches out his hand, both he who helps shall stumble, and he who is helped shall fall, and they shall all fall together. For this is what Yah has said to me: as a lion roars, and as young lion over his prey, though a band of shepherds is called out against him, he is not afraid of their voice, nor disturbed by their noise. So Yah of hosts shall come down to fight upon Mount Zion and upon its hill. Like hovering birds, so does Yah of hosts protect Yerushalayim, protecting and delivering, passing over and rescuing. Turn back to him from whom the children of Yasharel have deeply fallen away. For in that day let each man reject his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made for yourselves as a sin. And Asher shall fall by a sword not of man, and a sword not of mankind shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall become slave labor. And his strength pass away because of fear, and his commanders shall be afraid of the banner, declares Yah, whose light is in Zion, and whose furnace is in Jerusalem. Chapter 32. See, a sovereign shall reign in righteousness, and rulers rule in right ruling. And each one shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a shelter from the downpour, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in the weary land. And the eyes of those who see are not dim, and the ears of those who hear listen. Okay. And the heart of the rash understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers hurries to speak plainly. A fool is no longer called noble, nor the scoundrel said to be respectable. For a fool speaks folly, and his heart works wickedness, to practice filthiness, and to speak against Yah that which misleads, to starve the being of the hungry, and to withhold the drink from the thirsty. And the methods of the scoundrel are evil. He has devised wicked plans to destroy the poor with words of falsehood, even when the needy pleads for right ruling. But the generous one devises what is generous, and by generous deeds he rises up. Rise up, you women who are at ease, hear my voice. You complacent daughters, listen to my speech. In little more than a year you shall be troubled. You complacent women, for the grape harvest shall fail, the ingathering shall not come. Tremble, you women who are at ease, be troubled, you complacent ones. Strip yourselves and make yourselves bare, and gird sackcloth on your waists. Lament upon the breasts for the pleasant fields, for the fruit bearing vine. Weeds and thorn bushes come up over the ground of my people, indeed, over all the house of joy, the city of revelry. For the palace is abandoned, the crowded city deserted, hill and watchtower serve as caves forever. A joy of wild donkeys, a pasture of flocks, until the Ruah is poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness shall become garden land, and the garden land be reckoned as a forest. Then right ruling shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the garden land. The work of righteousness shall be peace, and the service of righteousness be rest and safety forever. And my people shall dwell in a home of peace, and in safe dwellings, and in undisturbed resting places. Even when hail shall fall, felling the forest and the city be brought low in humiliation. Barak are you who sow beside all waters, who send out the foot of the ox and the donkey. Chapter 33. Woe to you, ravager, while you have not been ravaged, and you treacherous, while they have not betrayed you. When you have ceased ravaging, you shall be ravaged. And when you stop betraying, they shall betray you. O Yah, show us favor, for we have waited for you. Be their arm every morning, our deliverance. Also in time of distress, at the noise of the rumbling, the people shall flee. When you lift yourself up, the Gentiles shall be scattered, and your plunder shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar, as locusts rush about. They rush upon them. Yah is exalted, for he dwells on high. He has filled Zion with right ruling and righteousness, and he shall be the trustworthiness of your times, a wealth of deliverance, wisdom, and knowledge, the reverence of Yah that is his treasure. See, their brave ones shall cry outside. The messengers of peace weep bitterly. The highways shall be deserted. The wayfaring man shall be ceased. He has broken the covenant. He has despised the cities. He respected no man. The earth shall mourn and languish. Lebanon shall be ashamed. Sharon shall be withered like a desert, and Bashan and Carmel be shaking. Now I rise up, declares Yah. Now I am exalted. Now I am lifted up. You conceive chaff. You bring forth stubble. Your spirit devours you like fire. And peoples shall be like the burning of lime, like thorns cut up. They are burned in the fire. You who are afar off, hear what I shall do, and you who are near, know my might. Sinners in Zion shall be afraid, trembling shall grip the defiled ones. Who of us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who of us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? He who walks righteously and speaks what is straight, he who rejects the gain of oppressions, who keeps his hands from accepting bribes, who stops his ears from hearing of bloodshed, and shuts his eyes from seeing evil. He shall inhabit the heights, strongholds of rocks be his refuge. His bread shall be given him, his water be steadfast. Your eyes shall see the sovereign in his comeliness. See, a land is far off. Your heart ponders fear. Where is the scribe? Where is he who weighs? Where is he who counts the towers? No longer shall you see a fierce people, a people of too deep a lip to hear, of a jabbering tongue no one understands. See Sion, the city of our appointed time. Your eyes shall see Jerusalem, an undisturbed home, a tent not taken down. Its stakes are never removed, nor any of its cords broken. But there, great is Yah for us, a place of broad rivers, streams in which no boat with oars sails, nor big ships pass by. For Yah is our judge. Yah is our lawgiver. Yah is our sovereign. He saves us. Your ropes shall be slack. They do not strengthen their mast. They shall not spread the sail. Then the prey of the great plunder shall be divided. The lame shall take the prey. Neither shall the inhabitants say, I am sick. The people who dwell in it are forgiven their wickedness. Okay, chapter 34. Come near, you Gentiles, to hear. And listen, you people, let the earth hear and all that is in it, the world and all its offspring. For the displeasure of Yah is against all the Gentiles, and his wrath against all their divisions. He shall put them under the ban. He shall give them over to the slaughter, and their slain be thrown out, and their stench rise from their corpses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of the Shamaim shall rot away, and the Shamaim shall be rolled up like a scroll, and all their hosts fade like a leaf fading on the vine, and like the fading one of a fig tree. For my sword shall be drenched in the Shamaim. Look, it comes down on Edom and on the people of my curse for judgment. The sword of Yah shall be filled with blood. It shall be made overflowing with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys and of rams. For Yah has a slaughtering in Batsra, and a great slaughter in the land of Edom. And wild oxen shall come down with them, and young bulls with bulls, and their land shall be drenched with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the vengeance of Yah, the year of recompense for the cause of Zion. And its streams shall be turned into tar, and its dust into sulfur, and its land shall become burning tar. That is not quenched night or day, its smoke going up forever. From generation to generation it lies waste. No one passes through it forever and ever, so that the pelican and the porcupine possess it. Also the owl and the raven dwell in it, and he shall stretch out over it the line of formlessness and stones of emptiness. Its caves with no one in them is called a rain, but all its rulers have vanished. And thorns shall come up in its palaces, nettles and brambles in its strongholds, and it shall be a home for jackals, a courtyard for ostriches. And the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the jackals, and the shaggy goat called to its companion. The night creature shall also settle there, and shall find for herself a place of rest. The arrow snake shall nest there, and lay eggs and hatch, and gather them under her shadow. There too the vulture shall gather, each with its mate. Search from the book of Yah and read. Not one of these shall be missing, not one shall be without a mate, for he has commanded my mouth, and his ruach shall gather them, and he shall cast the lot for them, and his hand shall divide it among them with a measuring line. They possess it forever, from generation to generation they dwell in it. Chapter 35. Let the wilderness and the dry place be glad for them, and let the desert rejoice and blossom as the rose. It blossoms much and rejoices even with joy and singing. The esteem of Lebanon shall be given to it, the excellence of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the esteem of Yah, the excellency of our Elohim. Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the weak knees. Say to those with anxious heart, be strong, do not fear. See, your Elohim comes with vengeance, with the recompense of Elohim. He is coming to save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf be opened. Then the lame shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the dumb sing, because waters shall burst forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water in the home for jackals, where each lay grass with reeds and rushes. And there shall be a highway and a way, and it shall be called the way of the Kodesh. The unclean do not pass over it, but it is for those who walk the way, and not a wandering fool. No lion is there, nor any ravenous beast go up on it. It is not found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransomed of Yah shall return and enter Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Chapter 36. And it came to be in the 14th year of sovereign Hezekiah that Sanherib, sovereign of Asher, came up against all the walled cities of Yehuda and took them. And the sovereign of Asher sent the Rabshakeh with a great army from Lachish to sovereign Hezekiahu at Jerusalem, and he stood by the channel of the upper pool on the highway to the launderer's field. And there came to him Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah, son of Asaph the recorder, and Rebshakeh then said to them, please say to Hezekiah, thus said the great sovereign, the sovereign of Ashur, what trust is this in which you trust? I say, you speak of having counsel and strength for battle, but they are vain words. Now in whom do you trust that you have rebelled against me? Look, you are trusting in the staff of this broken reed, Mitzrayim, on which if a man leans, it shall go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh the sovereign of Mitzrayim to all who trust in him? But if you say to me, we trust in Yah, our Elohim, it is not he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah has taken away, and has said to Yehuda and to Jerusalem, bow yourselves before this altar. And now I urge you, please give a pledge to my master, the sovereign of Asher, and I give you 2,000 horses, if you are able on your part to put riders on them. And how do you refuse one officer of the least of my master servants, and put your trust in Mitzrayim for chariots and horsemen? And now have I come up without Yah against this land to destroy it? Yah said to me, go up against this land and destroy it. And Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to Rabshakeh, please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it. And do not speak to us in the language of Yehuda in the hearing of the people who are on the wall. But the Rabshakeh said, has my master sent me to your master and to you to speak these words, and not to the men who sit on the wall, to eat their own dung and drink their own urine with it? And Rabshakeh stood and called out with a loud voice in the language of Yehuda and said, hear the words of the great sovereign, the sovereign of Asher. Thus said the sovereign, do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he is unable to deliver you. And do not let Hezekiah make you trust in Yah, saying, Yah shall certainly deliver us. This city is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Asher. Do not let Hezekiah, for thus said the sovereign of Asher, make peace with me by a present, and come out to me, and let each of you eat from his own vine, and each from his own fig tree, and each of you drinks the water of his own cistern until I come. Then I shall take you away to a land like your own land, a land of grain and new wine, a land of bread and vineyards. Beware lest Hezekiah mislead you, saying, Yah shall deliver us. Has any one of the mighty ones of the nations delivered its land from the hand of the sovereign of Asher? Where are the mighty ones of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the mighty ones of Sepharwaim? And when have they delivered Shamaran from my hand? Who among hmm, okay, I'm going to be starting back at chapter 36, verse 19. And please forgive if I'm rereading something. I ran to answer the door and lost my place. But verse 19, where are the mighty ones of Harmath and Arpad? Where are the mighty ones of Sepharwaim? And when have they delivered Shamaran from my hand? Who among all the mighty ones of these lands have delivered their land from my hand, that Yah should deliver Jerusalem from my hand? But they were silent and answered him not a word, for the command of the sovereign was, do not answer him. And Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, Shebna the scribe, and Joab, son of Asaph the recorder, came to Hezekiah with their garments torn, and they reported to him the words of the Rabshakeh. Chapter 37. And it came to be, when sovereign Hezekiah heard it, that he tore his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yah, and sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shibna the scribe, and the elders of the Kohanim, covering themselves with sackcloth, to Yeshayahu the Nabi, the son of Armatz. And they said to him, thus says Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no strength to bring forth. It could be that Yah, your Elohim, hears the words of Rabshakeh, whom his master, the sovereign of Asher, has sent to reproach the living Elohim, and shall rebuke the words which Yah, your Elohim, has heard. Therefore, lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. So the servants of sovereign Hezekiah came to Yeshayahu, and Yeshayahu said to them, say this to your master. Thus says Yah, do not be afraid of the words which you have heard, with which the servants of the sovereign of Asher have reviled me. See, I am putting a spirit in him, and he shall hear a report and return to his land. And I shall cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. And the Rabshakeh returned and found the sovereign of Asher fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that he had left Lachish, and he heard concerning Tirhakah, sovereign of Cush, he has come out to fight with you. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, speak to Hezekiah, the sovereign of Yehudah, saying, do not let your Elohim in whom you trust deceive you, saying, yes, Jerusalem is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Asher. See, you have heard what the sovereigns of Asher have done to all our lands by putting them under the ban. And are you going to be delivered? Have the mighty ones of the nations delivered those whom my fathers have destroyed, Goshen and Haran and Retseph, the sons of Eden, who were in Telassar? Where is the sovereign of Hamath, and the sovereign of Arpad, and the sovereign of the city of Saparwahim, Henna, and Awa? And Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up to the house of Yah and spread it before Yah. And Hezekiah prayed to Yah, saying, O Yah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharel, the one who dwells between the cherubim. You are Elohim, you alone. Of all the reigns of the earth, you have made the Shamaim and earth. Incline your ear, O Yah, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yah, and see, and hear all the words of Sanherib, who has sent the reproach to reproach the living Elohim. Truly, Yah, the sovereigns of Asher, have laid waste all the lands in their land, and have put their mighty ones into the fire, for there were not mighty ones, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone, and they destroyed them. And now, O Yah, our Elohim, save us from his hand, so that all the reigns of the earth know that you are Yah, you alone. Then Yeshayahu, son of Armantz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus said Yah, Elohim of Yasharel, because you have prayed to me against Sanherib, sovereign of Asher. This is the word which Yah has spoken concerning him. The maiden, the daughter of Sion, has despised you, mocked you. The daughter of Yerushalayim has shaken her head behind you. Whom have you reproached and reviled, and against whom have you raised your voice and lifted up your eyes in pride? Against the Kadesh one of Yasharel. By the hand of your servants you have reproached Yah and said, With my many chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the limits of Lebanon, and I cut down its tails, its tall cedars and its choice cypress trees, and I enter in its farthest height, its thickest forest. I have dug and drunk water, and with the soles of my feet I have dried up all the streams of the defense. Have you not heard long ago how I made it from days of old, that I formed it? Now I have brought it about, that you should be for crushing walled cities into heaps of ruins, and their inhabitants were powerless. They were overthrown and put to shame. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green plant, as the grass of the housetops, and as grain blighted before it is grown. But I know you're sitting down and you're going out and you're coming in your rage against me, because your rage against me and your pride have come up to my ears. I shall put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I shall turn you back by the way which you came. And this shall be the sign for you. This year you eat such as grows of itself, and the second year what springs from that, and the third year sow and reap, plant vineyards and eat fruit of them. And the remnant who have escaped of the house of Yehudah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem comes forth a remnant, and those who escape from Mount Sion. The ardor of Yah of hosts does this. Therefore, thus said Yah concerning the sovereign of Asher, he does not come into this city, nor does he shoot an arrow there, nor does he come before it with shield, nor does he build a siege mound against it. By the way that he came, by the same he turns back. And into this city he does not come, declares Yah. And I shall defend this city to save it for my own sake, for the sake of my servant Dawid. And a messenger of Yah went out and killed in the camp of Asher 185,000. And they arose early in the morning and saw all of them, dead bodies. And Sennacherib, the sovereign of Asher, broke camp and went away and turned back and remained in Nineveh. And it came to be, as he was bowing himself in the house of Nisroch, his mighty one, that his sons Adramelech and Sarezer smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Ararat. And his son Asarhaddon reigned in his place. Okay. see. I'm at 40 minutes. I'm just going to see what chapter 38 looks like. I'm going to stop here, not 38. Yes, I am going to stop here. Okay, so thank you for joining me again. I will see you tomorrow. Blessings and shalom.